A palatial estate in wealthy Highland Park is up for grabs for a cool $12.5 million. But the house's current owner may raise some eyebrows as well. The mansion, which just went on the market this week, was built in 1920 and designed by architect Hal Thomson, whose eye for grandeur can be seen in many of the Highland Park residences he designed in the early 20th century. It's been renovated several times since, most recently around a decade ago, said Allie Beth Allman, the broker selling the house. The 12,940 square foot home sits on nearly an acre of perennially flowering land, she said. Between its 5 bedrooms, 6 full bathrooms and 3 half baths, there's room for several families. Quiet life in the country. Check out this $20 million Denton County ranch. It's located in one of the most pristine streets in the city, on the corner lot on Beverly Drive, Allman said. The mansion is owned by Joe Garza, a name that may ring a few bells for those who have as much cash as he does. He's the lead partner at Garza Legal Group, where he practices tax planning, once characterized as aggressive by a tax court judge. In other words, he sold his clients various tax shelters, such as the son of boss scheme, a tax planning method that helps reduce federal tax liability by offsetting of real capital gains with questionable liabilities. The Internal Revenue Service considers such practice an abuse of tax laws. On February 6, Dallas Morning News reported that FBI and IRS agents searched Garza's offices in North Dallas. The agencies can't comment on whether or not there's an open investigation, and no court documents mentioning Garza as a party have been filed since the feds came knocking. A $12.5 million Highland Park estate owned by a tax attorney recently visited by the feds is up for grabs. A $12.5 million Highland Park estate owned by a tax attorney recently visited by the feds is up for grabs. $12.5 million Highland Park estate owned by a tax attorney recently visited by the feds is up for grabs. A $12.5 million Highland Park estate owned by a tax attorney recently visited by the feds is up for grabs. A $12.5 million Highland Park estate owned by a tax attorney recently visited by the feds is up for grabs. A $12.5 million Highland Park estate owned by a tax attorney recently visited by the feds is up for grabs. But back to the mansion. In addition to the main house, which has a library, wine cellar and enough kitchen and dining space for 100 guests, there is a guest house, as magnificent as the house itself, with a wet bar and a library. Allman said. Garza lives there alone, and is looking for something simpler, she said. Since the listing is so new, nobody's approached Allman about the property, so there's quite the opportunity for those with the funds. Everywhere you look, it's so beautiful, Allman said. What big sprawling ranches say about Texans and the state's cowboy culture.